A very common challenge that I get asked about is how do you stop revenge trading? When I took my first round of investment a few years ago now, the big thing that tripped me up when at that time it was the first time I got exposed to significantly more capital, and when I took losses, I went on tilt straight away. I got extremely emotional and I started to revenge trade. Revenge trading was the reason I lost that first round of investment. And it was the thing that I didn't know how to manage. I didn't know how to stop. What I'm gonna share in this particular video is ways you can manage. You wanna put this mental model in place to manage revenge trading, especially if you're just about to get funded or you're looking to get funded or you already are funded. It's extremely important to have proper mental models in place to ensure that you can deal with the emotional volatilities of trading larger capital. So in this particular video, I'm gonna share the mental model that I put in place, a mental model you can put in place, very simple model you can put in place to ensure that you stop revenge trading and you get back to your processes. Now, if it's the first time checking into the channel, first and foremost, welcome. My name is Pat Bailouni. I'm the founder of Master Your Trading Mindset, which is an education and performance coaching business designed specifically for traders to help them overcome the psychological challenges and to help them get funded. If you don't already have a copy of our free Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, jump in the description and get that. We're going to be talking a little bit about that in today's video. It's the cornerstone for the principles I share in this video, so check it out. It's very, very useful, help you make better decisions and lower emotional volatilities. Now, first and foremost, why do traders revenge trade? This is really important to understand. What's happening in the psychology when we revenge trade is traders are addicted to some sort of fantasy or some sort of outcome from a particular position. Let's say, for example, we are looking at euro dollar and we're so adamant that euro dollar is going to go up. And that's the expectation, that's the belief, that's the outcome-based idea we've created in the virtual market in our head, and we start projecting that onto the real market. If we hold on to that, or if we're attached to that outcome, what's going to happen is that we can now take a loss in the market and maybe euro dollar continues to push to the downside. And we now, because we're still addicted to that outcome, we are still holding on to that bias of what we think euro dollar is going to do. We're going to jump back into that position and euro dollar takes us out again. But because we're so adamant on that outcome or that bias, we jump into the position again. So the revenge trading comes in when we're addicted to some sort of outcome and we're holding on to an expectation, an unrealistic expectation of what's going to happen next. One thing I encourage traders to do to ensure they have in place if they find themselves revenge trading is a reset, a very simple reset you can do. For me, I know what I did was I had some sort of a breathing exercise that I would put in. If I found myself getting extremely emotional in the market, I would go away from the charts and do a very particular breathing exercise that I did, or you can do a simple meditation like one of those apps, 10-15 minute meditation. And what I also did was I went back and I read my trading plan, my processes. One addition to that I think will be incredibly useful is do something to change your physiology through breathing, because that will change your psychology as well. They happen simultaneously. And then also go back to your trading plan and your processes, but you also have to identify what type of outcome or expectation am I addicted to? What am I holding on to here with the market about what I think the market's going to do? Because I guarantee you, the more we continue to revenge, it's because we're addicted to some sort of fantasy of what we think is going to happen to the market, and we're trying to capture that. But the market isn't aligning with the fantasies we're creating in our virtual market in our head, and we're continuing to get frustrated, we're continuing to get angry, and we're continuing to project our ideas pridefully onto the market thinking we're right and the market's wrong. Guess what? The market's never wrong, because if we don't listen to what the market's doing, we're going to get humbled by the market. My point here is you have to do something after you take a loss to ground yourself and to get back to your processes. And there has to be something written down in your trading plan as a reset, as a hard reset from a physiological perspective, from a psychological perspective. But most importantly, you have to identify those outcome-based expectations or fantasies that you're addicted to, that you're holding on to, that are driving the behavior to get back into the market. Because then what you can do, this is where the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool comes in. This is where it's so useful, because once you have the awareness that you're making a decision based on what you think the outcome is going to be, and you've created this idea in the virtual market and you're heading, you project it onto the market, once you're aware that you're making an outcome-based decision, you can use the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool to ground it and to have that self-awareness to realize that making this type of decision isn't sustainable as a trade. It's not what's going to lead to consistent profitability. The thing that's going to lead to consistent profitability is listening to the market and trading my plan when the market aligns with that. What I recommend, like I mentioned, is have some sort of process to hard reset. A breathing exercise or a meditation is great, because when you change your physiological state, you change your psychological state, and vice versa. When you change your psychological state, you change your physiological state. So having something physiological in there, like breathing, like meditation, or like going for a run, or whatever it might be, a cold shower, will change the way you think. And then on top of that, Go back, read your trading plan, get clear on what your rules actually state, get clear on how you actually trade as a trader. Because after we take a loss, our judgment can be clouded. So we want to go back to what our rules actually state. And then thirdly, pull out the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool. Use that to be aware of what expectations you have before making decisions. Ground unrealistic outcome-based expectations. Make sure you're making process-based decisions according to your plan. We also have more advanced tools that we teach in the 12-week program on how to actually go in there and address the subconsciously stored data and how to neutralize the feeling to have revenge on the market. But the expectations are the cornerstone of that. If you can build up your self-awareness of what type of expectations are driving your behavior, you do a lot for your trading and you make better decisions. But if you want more, if you want to go under the hood and really learn all the principles I have, the 12-week program's for you, so check that out. I created the 12-week program after my last 6 years of trading myself, working with hundreds of traders one-on-one and having thousands of traders come through my programs, also working with education companies and prop firms. So I had a very unique positioning on seeing traders, what makes good traders, what makes not so good traders, and also my studies in human behavior and psychology. I put all that information together to create 12 steps that help traders overcome their psychological challenges and helps traders achieve funding and continue to scale funding. The principles I talk about on my YouTube resonate with you. You're gonna love the 12-week program. We go into way more detail and I give you the tools in detail and the walkthroughs and how to actually implement them so you can start thinking like a professional trader does. So hopefully you got some value from this particular video. To summarize, you need to be aware of the expectations. The expectations of the outcome are what drive revenge. Have some sort of reset that you can implement, ideally something physiological and something psychological. Then you become aware of your expectations. Then you get back to your processes and you be aware of what trades are actually conducive with your strategy, what trades are actually right for you to take and will yield you profitability over a long period of time. Ground yourself so you can get back to trading your plan, because that's what's going to lead to consistent profitability in the long run anyway. So I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Cheers.